want a war, you're going to get one.
Drop it.
What was that? He had enough time for one more play.
Had an opportunity to win that game at the end.
But the referee screwed us. The brother screwed us.
I'm upset, but
The brother screwed us.
At least they fought back and tried.
only Cowboys game.
You
The brother
literally.
screwed us. The brother screwed us. He had one man opportunity for one more play.
Dallas still stinks.
Yo, my do it, Kick Dick back here. Welcome to what is the final practice of training camp before it breaks. But don't worry, we will not stop. What is going on, everybody? Hope you guys are doing well. It looks like the Eagles moved up their practice. Originally, it was supposed to be at noon or 3 o'clock, but it is a little early, but that's okay. What is happening, everybody? Nick, what's going on? Prolific, what's happening? Mayday. What's up, Tony? What's up, JJ Rock? Little Griffith, what's going on? Tristan, the Awesome Possum, my man Antonio Holmes, Texas Eagle fan is here. How you guys doing? Darlush, thank you guys so much. Appreciate it. Anybody I missed, I truly apologize. But we're going to jump right into this Mother Humper because I know they got things going on. We got some guys returning to practice today. The next time the Eagles practice here, the roster will be down to 53 plus 16. Look at that. Final practice of training camp right there. It's kind of crazy, you know? It seems like it just went so fast. Let's see if we got any injury reports. Vic Fangio gave a press conference. I haven't had a chance to watch it yet. Here's Dickerson. He's back practicing. That's good. Good. Vic Fangio says Eagles defensive tackle Ty Robinson has turned the corner, but he still has to improve and prove he can have success against frontline players. That's great. I mean, he's taken the step that we wanted him to take. You know what I mean? Lane Johnson coming out. No pads today. That's okay. Vic Fangio says the two-joint practice against the Patriots were two of the most valuable days of training camp. I would think so. You know, Lane Johnson is practicing today after leaving Tuesday night. That's good. Oh, here's some good news because this is kind of like important. Like, you know, Jonathan Jones was like a decent signing, a pretty decent depth signing for the Eagles in the secondary, and he's been out for pretty much the whole camp. So Eagles cornerback Jonathan Jones has returned to practice. He has missed a good portion of camp with shoulder injury. So shout out to him for coming back. You know, we forget that we have him, but he's a good depth piece to have for the Eagles. We showed that picture, and that's kind of where we're at right now. I unfortunately haven't gotten to put all the training camp highlights and stuff together yet, but we are working on that. No doubt about it. Eagles Potter, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate you so much. The casual bandwagon fantasy football weirdos are overreacting to real Eagle fans know that this is practice. The Eagles will be fine. Go Birds. Oh, yeah. They're going to be fine. I mean, I'm very encouraged by some specific guys and how they've performed, but I'm also excited about the new offense. But, you know, Jalen Hurts throwing interceptions at practice, you know, people make way too much of it. Just because he throws a pass at practice doesn't mean he would throw that in a game, you know. Plus, he's learning a new system. Let him get all that out at practice. You know what I'm saying? Cowgirls are going 17-0. How like them apples? Oh my God! I got to go on Cilio's show today. I can imagine. We're gonna get the arrogant Mark, who's like trying to act like he's, you know, being logical and not overreacting, but then taking the shots of cockiness. Makumba is doing his job. He's need not to worry about. I'm not worried about him at all. Angela says, Philly 500, you heard anything about Davis? Was he injured? The last I heard about Davis was they checked his arm out, and it looked like they thought he was going to be okay. That was the last thing I heard. I don't know anything more of that. I don't know if they took X-rays. That was coming during the actual practice. And thanks to everybody who joined us yesterday. We had over 1,000 people in there. It was great. GT says, "Hey Philly, still said the only reason Lemon had touch-up practice was because it was a busted coverage. So if he doesn't get the touchdown, then why didn't he score and busted coverage? When you look for something negative all the time, you'll find it. When you know what I mean, you just will." What up, Dr. Jen? We got a doctor in the house. I think we need one because we got a lot of Cowboy fans that I think need medicine. Vic said Davis is fine. Well, that's great news. Lawrence says Philly kick Sills of Mark Holmes' ass today. Go Birds. Yeah, I mean I'll try. It's like what nonsense are we going to spew today? It's just crazy. Is that Grenard right there? Yeah. All right. There's Devontae Smith. Now what I heard and what they were saying is that when Devontae Smith comes on the field, this offense looks completely different. He changes the offense. You got to love Devontae. Jonathan Grenard still not able to practice at camp. I think this could be the most, I don't know. I honestly don't know to be concerned about it or to not be. Part of me thinks he's a veteran. He'll be fine. But then the other part of me is like, man, I don't know. You're missing a lot of time. What'll probably happen is you'll get guys like, like Nolan Smith have a huge year, and then he'll be like basically his backup. That's what'll probably end up happening. But yeah, who knows? Let's see here. ASMR me, thank you for the super chat. He goes, Philly, Bigsby, and Barkley are in for massive years. They are. And sorry I didn't have the highlight up. Here was the video I was talking about. You see Grenard walking, and then they kind of pan over to Devontae. Here's Grenard, still out. And ASMR me, thank you for the super chat. I think they're both gonna have massive years too. Yeah, I mean, I feel like it is and it isn't. Like, are we overreacting? The guy is a veteran. He comes back week 1, week 2. Let's say by week 4 or 5 he's rolling. Are we just good to go? Or do we need to go out and get another pass rusher? And should that be a guy like Hassan Reddick that people have talked about? Or should it be a guy like a Josh Sweat or Max Crosby? What do you do? Or do you just bring Brandon Graham back? The Clown Boys will go 17-0 in Madden 95, right? Ty Child of the Most High. God bless you too, my friend. What up, Clark? How are you? Mav, thank you for super chat. He goes, don't talk about my Cowgirls, Philly. Oh, okay. You're a Cowgirl fan. Okay. Saquon looks great. Saquon is having a fantastic camp. He looks lighter, quicker, more explosive. And he looks fresh. A lot of the offensive linemen, including Lane Johnson, who we're seeing here, has talked about how good Saquon looked. And if this offensive line is healthy, then yeah, he's going to be a problem for teams. Like that's the positive. Like, I think we need to look at the positives here. Like, sure, there are negatives that could take place. Sure. We all know it. We've heard it 1,000 times. But if you come out of camp and you're saying, hey, if you would have said to me before camp started, here's what I'll guarantee for you, Philly. Your offense will have been up and down in camp. Hurts looks really good, but he throws a lot of interceptions during camp. But he makes a lot of great plays, and your offensive line is healthy and looks really, really good. So does your running back, as well as stars, young guys like Ty Robinson showing up. If you would have told me that's what we come out of camp with, I would take that in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat. So I really like where we're at. It's not a done product. We've got to, of course, continue to go out and play and learn the offense. But I like where we're at. I mean, they're talking about WIP like if Jalen doesn't play good after a few weeks, we're gonna have to either go back to the old offense or put Tanner McKee in. It's like, what? These people are nuts. They're nuts. You got to give it time. So who are you most excited to see once the season starts? I could choose only one. Oh man, that's really hard. That's really hard. But I'll say Jalen Hunt. I think Jalen Hunt is on the verge of stardom. Like a lot of other guys showed they were pretty good. I think he's on the verge of stardom. All right, Jeff, you have a good day too. Yo, 500 G here. They have to have a good year or they're tradable. BG is old, Lane is old, and y'all are delusional to think another inexperienced offensive coordinator is going to get us anywhere. Um, I mean, I guess that's one way to look at it, But as where you're looking and saying, well, this guy's old and that guy's old, I'll come back with this. Um, Lane Johnson's old, but now you have somebody ready to fill in at right tackle. You have a young guy. Brandon Graham, he retired and he might not come back, but you've already got guys like Jalen Hunt who look like they're on the verge of stardom. And then you have an experienced offensive coordinator. Well, I can tell you right now, just in that last preseason game, that inexperienced offensive coordinator is 10 times better than what you had last year. So I guess there's two ways to look at it. You could look at it like, yeah, the sky is falling, or you could look at it like, wow, the possibilities are really up there. The only reason Grenard should be a concern is if we can't generate a rush weeks 1 to 3. Otherwise, let him fully heal for a big stretch. Yeah, I agree. I mean, they're saying now that Nolan Smith is having a really good camp, and it was kind of quiet, but it seems like people are saying that if he can be the first round pick that he was drafted to be, and Jalen Hunt takes the next step, I think we'll be fine. All right, so the receivers are doing ladder work on the last day of camp. Who is that? Wicks just ran over all the ladders. Come on, Wicks. I kind of like Wicks though. I do. Let me pull up some other guys here. You can look at things positively or negatively, based on the same information you have. I like the possibilities. I do. I like the possibilities of what we have. I'll take an inexperienced offensive coordinator over Kevin Patullo any day of the week. You know. Is there a veteran edge rusher there we could sign for depth, or do you think we just go with what we got? No, I mean I don't know what other team guys are available, but when they do the 53-man roster cuts, that's when guys will become available or get traded. Maybe a little older guys get traded because they got a young guy ready to take his place. They'll be able to find something. This has been. I was looking at last year's camp and this year, usually we have like 4, 5, 6 moves already in camp, including a trade. Like Howie hasn't really done anything this camp. He's just gone with what we have, which is really interesting. And I take that to mean that they like what they're seeing with the guys that they have. That's how I see it. Grenard is out to October. So if he's out to October, you figure you weren't going to really make an impact until about the end of November. But in December, he'll be ready to roll. And that's the most important thing. Logan, what's going on? How are you? DJ Simo, thank you for super chat. My man, I appreciate you. Vic Fangio on Hurts interceptions. He's learning a new offense. Hurts is trying things to see what works and what doesn't. It won't carry over to the season. Yeah, I mean, I agree. I bet you 50% of those balls that he's thrown, those interceptions, I bet you like 50 or 60% of those, and it's probably more. He would never make the throw in a game. He's just doing it because it is practice. Petula was an inexperienced bum like Brian Johnson. Petula was not only that, he was like he was the passing game coordinator of a passing game that was really not that good. You know what I'm saying? He was not that good. What I saw from in the Eagles' vanilla offense in the last game gave me a lot of hope. Now, I do agree with you. We have a new coordinator. You never know for sure how that's going to go. It could go either way. It could go either way. I just gotta believe that this team, who's been to 2 Super Bowls in the last 4 years, who have made so many right decisions, that they made the right call here. I'm hoping, but we don't know. But I do know if things work out, watch out. Uh, if Sills tells Mark that Jalen throws 30 picks today, Mark will write it down and research and run with it. Sills does it on purpose, no matter what, to keep pounding the positives we know about the Eagles. It's true. Well, here's a perfect example of how he'll operate. He'll be like, Jalen Hurts is ranked, let's say, I forget what he was ranked. Like, let's say he's ranked 53, right? So instead of saying, hey, Jalen Hurts made the 53 top 100 at number 53, he'll say, why wasn't Jalen Hurts under 50? Why is he not a top 50? Why is he not top 25? If he was ranked 24, he would say, why isn't he in the top 20? So it's like you could always find something to complain about. What you miss? What you miss? Not much. Not much. They're running drills here. Here's Hertz and Tanner McKee. This doesn't look like it's going to be a really hard practice. They did 2 hours yesterday. Hiring an inexperienced offensive coordinator for the third time is utterly ridiculous. I don't necessarily agree. I think you have to judge each guy as individual. Like I don't think you can just judge it based upon its hey, inexperienced offensive coordinators are always a problem. Veteran guys are never a problem. Like I think personally, I think sometimes these coaches they just pass these coaches around, and they're the same coaches. They're really not that good. They just do the same thing, and they go from one town to the other town, and it's like here we go. They're just recycling. I like to taking a chance on a guy. I do. And, I would say this, don't forget they also brought in the offensive coordinator of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Grizzard. So he gives you some insurance because he has experience as an offensive coordinator. Every good coordinator once had hired an experienced guy. That's the cycle. It is. It is. And you know for a fact, and it may be the same case if Mannion's good, but if you have an experienced guy and he comes in and he's good 1 year, he's gone. He's going to be a head coach somewhere. David, what's going on, my man? No, you're all good. You're all good. Let's see here. See what Randy Lee Gountain says here. Based on the pre-practice walkthrough, um, that looked like the team prepping for Friday night preseason game. Seems like Makai Lemon will play at least a little, and Tanner McKee will start. So, based on the Eagles' pre-practice walkthrough, that looked like the team prepping for Friday night's game. Seems like Makai Lemon will play at least a little, and Tanner McKee will start. How cool is that? I would love to get him. Uh, you know, playing a little bit. That's great. That's going to make it fun to watch. You know, I'm literally at work making 100-day game. Good for you, man. Let's see here. Keep Mannion. He has to perform first. Keep him. Yeah, definitely. Philly 500. Do you remember when they said about Andy Reid when they hired him? Who is he? They made fun of him. I do. Yeah, I remember. I mean, look, until he plays, until we play and we actually see what he does, we don't know. We don't know. I just think we got to see how it plays out. But I really didn't like Patullo at all. Philly Lemon in motion will be cinema. We got the best receiver in the draft. He can do it all. I love it, Howard. I'm excited. Yeah, Grizzard is our passing game coordinator, but he gives you some help and some insurance with Mannion being uh what you call a rookie offensive coordinator. I think it's funny because like I keep hearing like Cowboy fans talk, especially, and they're not the only ones, but I hear them talking about the new offensive coordinator. Well, you got a new offensive coordinator. You got a new offensive coordinator. You got a new defensive coordinator. Oh yeah, no, but he's great. I mean, Quinion Mitchell and Cooper DeJean. The only reason they're any good, not because they're talented, but because of Christian Parker. Now he's going to make every Dallas Cowboy player that great. It's ridiculous. I mean, they literally got shirts of Christian Parker. I didn't make a shirt of Mannion. Does that mean Andy won the backup job? I don't know. I don't know because they may just want to see Tanner play. I mean I don't think Dalton should have won it. He stunk. He stinks. I'd rather have Tanner McKee. 4133, thank you for the super chat. Anyone saying the Eagles shouldn't hire inexperienced guys is dumb. That's all Jeffrey Lurie has done on Andy. Chip, Doug, Nick, all experience. Look, yeah, sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. The Brian Johnson was a better than KP, then our defense couldn't stop a nosebleed. He was, and to me, when they hired those guys like Brian Johnson, and when they hired Patullo, what to me that really was got front men for Nick Sirianni to run the offense, because we remember they took the play calling from him back in the Steichen days, and that was his way of wrestling it back. Exactly. Steichen wasn't an offensive coordinator until he came here, and he was a quarterback coach. Yeah, I mean, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. I predict the Eagles go 14-3 if healthy, and the only way we lose games this season is because it's one of those games we shouldn't have lost. I kind of feel you. I said I think between 12 and 14 wins this year is what I think the Eagles are going to have. I do, and I'm sticking to that. I really think they'll have about 12 to 14 wins. Let's see here. Nothing to report. Nothing to report. Waiting for those 11 on 11 drills to begin. We'll see how heavy they go, though. In the meantime, though, before the drills get started, I wanna take a second for a message from our sponsor. It's America's #1 sports pick app. It is the best app to use while watching sports. It's really easy to use. All you have to do is pick a few players here or there, then boom, you're ready to go. And now they offer team play, which we're going to get into in a second. But one of the things I love best, it's available in almost all 50 states, including Florida, California, and Texas. Now, this week, what am I looking at as the season comes near? Our boy Jalen Hurts is primed for a big year. A big year. That's why when they have the 30 plus passing touchdowns, I say Hurts is going to hit this, baby. Hurts, I'm taking to hit 30 plus touchdowns. Now, if you like this or you want to do something similar, all you have to do is go into the description, download the app, and download it yourself. Use promo code HMA. And when you sign up and play your first $5 lineup, you'll win $150 in lineup credits. That's $5 lineup. If you win, you'll get $150 in lineup credits. Just use promo code HMA. Shout out to Prize Picks. All right, so shout out to Prize Picks for sponsoring today's video. We appreciate it. And that's right. Jalen Hurts, 30 touchdowns this year, baby. 30 touchdowns. All right, so it's just in time because first up, we've got Tanner McKee with the second unit. First pass is incompleted to Hollywood Brown in the red zone. So Tanner's up with the second unit. I don't think Andy Dalton should be winning um any battles based upon what we've seen. Why do you guys think what do you think happened to Tanner McKee? I mean, we were getting reports last year that the Saints, and maybe it wasn't true, I don't know, but the Saints offered what'd they say, a second round pick for him. The Eagles turned it down. What's going on with Tanner McKee? I can't even believe he's competing in a serious level with Andy Dalton. You know, it's kind of, I don't know. I don't know what to make of it. There's our boy Makai Lemon. I would have taken Reich over Mannion because if the Eagles' offense performs, we lose Mannion next year for head coach job. If the Eagles' offense is bad, we will fire him. No one can give Reich a head coach gig. Yeah, I get that. I actually that was one of the reasons why he was higher on my list too, because I thought he would be there multiple years. Here's how I kind of see the thing. I kind of see them interviewing Mannion, not expecting him to be the guy, but just being so impressed with him and what he knows and everything that went on in the interview that that they had to hire him. They were too impressed with him. And so I take it maybe they found something here and we should just be happy about it. I gotta think that's what it's about. It's what I hope it's about. Makai Lemon get ready for the final day of training camp. I hope Lemon plays. So John Clark says, Eagles receivers, do all 6 players make the roster? This is a great question. And we got 554 people. Make sure if you guys haven't, hit that like. Make sure you subscribe. We're here for all the practices. And even though camp is coming to an end, we are going to be doing these until we get to at least the final 53-man roster. Then we'll go back to regular season schedule. But do all 6 wide receivers make this roster? Devontae Smith, Wicks, Lemon, Brown are locks, in my opinion. Then he's got Elijah Moore and Darius Cooper. I don't think 6 players are making. I don't think they're keeping 6 wide receivers. And if they do, one of them may be Covey. So I think that there's going to be an odd man out, either Moore or Cooper. I do not think the Eagles would cut Cooper. I do not think they would. So I think Elijah Moore is going to end up not making this team. I think Elijah Moore is the odd man out, to be quite honest with you. Maverick David Super Chat. He goes, Dak and Purdy going to have 50 touchdowns, baby. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Here we go. You're done arguing with stupid? You must be talking about somebody else. Because I wasn't arguing. I don't think Mannion gets a head coaching job next season if we are good. NFL just had a massive coaching shakeup. There are now more candidates out there than potential positions. Mannion needs more experience. Well, I tend to agree with you, but this kind of goes to what I was just saying. Like a lot of people see him as this really young, smart guy that teams would love to get their hands on, and he just overly impressed the Eagles. For whatever reason, when the Eagles are good offensively, they love to take our offensive coordinators. I believe for that reason alone, they will take them. They will take them, and I think they'll take them right away. But I hope you're right. You should be right. But I don't know. Like we have such bad luck. Like when we have a good coordinator, they go right away. You know. So it'll be interesting. Come on, guys, give us updates on the last day. I don't know. I don't. What do you guys think they're going to do at wide receiver? Do you think they're going to keep 5 or 6 and one of them's Covey, or do you think they'll keep both those guys and put Lemon at return? I don't know how they're going to play it, but I am not letting Darius Cooper go. I am just not doing that. I am not cutting him. Man, tight, thank you for super chat. He goes 8500. Dalton stinks. We need a competent backup. Go Birds. Yeah, he does stink. I think what'll happen is I think Tanner's going to fall to number 2. Don't be surprised now if they bring in another quarterback during the cuts. Because the 53-man roster comes out, a veteran quarterback gets cut. The Eagles may bring him in. It's happened. They've done it before. Don't be surprised if they do it again. I think we keep 6. Now, do you think we keep 6 and one of those is Britton Covey, or do you think we just keep 5? Even if Manny is great for the course of this season, young coach, yeah, I would agree with you, but I think a team would snag him up. I really do. Unfortunately. Pete Samuels says, "Hey Philly, hope all is well, sir. I'm hoping they make Mannion an offer he can't refuse if he works out." I agree. And not just Mannion, but you know, you have a great linebacker coach in Bobby King. He's going to get a chance at some point. Clint Hurt already interviewed for the defensive coordinator spot in Miami. That didn't work out. So you could lose him. Like there's multiple coaches on this roster that could be defensive and offensive coordinators. I would never bring back Chip Dip Kelly. I would not. No. Hell no. Why is Ringo still in the NFL? Because he can play special teams. Hey, Ringo had an interception this preseason. Okay. Final practice of camp. I can't believe it. I don't think the Eagles made one signing during camp. It's crazy. I got nothing. I got nothing. I got nothing. I got nothing right now. We can't lose Mayan to keep Nick if he brings us back. Yeah, I don't know how that would work. I don't. John Clark has it like I think it will be. So you think they'll keep 6? Interesting. Who would be the returner then? Right? Because Covey's technically the punt returner. So who becomes your punt returner? Think they trade Moore or Brown? If they're looking to cut one of those guys, they could look to do that. Yeah. Covey not making it, Elijah will be out. But if you cut Covey, who's your returner? We literally like on their unofficial depth chart, he's listed as a starting punt returner. That's the only thing I wonder. Like, do you keep 7? I think we keep 6 in that, and they might. I'm really interested to see what Landon looks like because there's speculation he's still not healthy. I can't say I've heard from credible sources, but I've heard it. I've heard he's actually looked pretty good and looked thinner. But we'll see. I think the offensive line as a whole has looked good, though. The drop off from the first string defensive back to our second string is night and day. Yeah, and it's like that, I think, with most teams. They should let Steele return kicks and keep Cooper, let Moore and Covey go. So you're keeping Steele, you're keeping 4 running backs then, right? Or you're keeping a fullback and 3 running backs. Yeah. I'm not as high on Tanner as some Eagle fans, but I prefer him as a backup over Andy. That's kind of where I am right now. Like, well, I still think he could play. It seems like he lost his confidence in that Washington game, or something. I don't know, but I do think he's better than Andy Dalton too. I don't even think it's close. I don't know why they would want Dalton as a backup. If you want Dalton to be like an extra coach and help out, that's fine. But are we really we're gonna make him the backup? Make him the third string, you know? But I don't know. It's interesting. What's good, 500? Can I get a wrench? When I give them out. What up, Philly? Can't wait to watch you tear market stills up today. What time are you gonna be on? 4:30 Eastern. 4:30 Eastern. I don't even know what they're going to be talking. Like I can't even like I've literally watched no Cowboys this preseason. I haven't kept up with the Cowboys at all. I do not know what's going on with that team, so I have no idea. And then who knows what Sills will say? He'll say something. Joint practice made me realize how bad these reporters are when it comes to training camp. Well, it was interesting because we were putting two different reporters talking about the same play, and you could see how one could take it positive and one could take it negative. It's something. YouTube Pump Life, thank you for the super chat, appreciate it. Good afternoon, 500 last day, yes sir, last day. We got a walkthrough tomorrow. Then the Eagles got a game, and then I think they're all Saturday, and then you got the whole 53-man roster stuff they're going to be doing. So, yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Put Brown at punt returns. Yeah, if he could do it, I would do it. You know, I don't know why we haven't seen any of those guys do it. Like we haven't seen it. Like Covey, he went to return a punt last week, remember, and he fumbled it, and he got it back. But I don't want Covey to be the sixth receiver. I want one of those other. I do not want Darius Cooper gone. And I actually like Elijah Moore. I think Elijah Moore has a pretty good camp. So I don't want to get rid of him. So if it's up to me, I would keep six, and I would keep it just like McLean had it too. Still looks like a great returner. A returner? Yeah. I haven't seen him return. Did he return any? Because I totally missed it if he did. Weren't we doing anything in 2023, even if we had an elite offensive coordinator, with how the defense looked, bro? Yeah, well, you got to remember, 2023, you literally were 10-1. You were 10-1 and collapsed. You know, when you're 10-1, there's no excuse at that point to collapse the way they did. Nick, thank you for the super chat. Go trade for Marvin Mims. He's an all-pro returner. Why would they trade for him? Is he really an all-pro returner? Huh. We need one bad. I really wish the Eagles would invest more in a returner. Roll Philly Dog says, if all the motion and different sets we see is the vanilla version of this offense, I can't wait to see it all the way opened up. Me too. I'm excited, and I'm also patient. I also am going in there with patience. I'm not gonna pull the rug from under Jalen Hurts after 4 weeks. I'm not doing any of that. I'm gonna be patient and let it play out. But Cooper, put Cooper at returner. I don't know if Darius Cooper could do it. I mean, he had the one. Was it a return or a punt? And he didn't look good doing it. We got over 600 people in the chat. Thank you guys so much for being here. Appreciate it. All right, here we got a practice report. Finally came in. So let's take a look at this mother humper. Final practice for training camp. Pound Eagles practice report. Will not practice. Markel Bell, thumb leg. Jacorian Bennett, knee. He's been just non-existent. Grant Calcaterra back. Eli Stowers hamstring. Cole Wisniewski concussion. Limited is Jonathan Jones shoulder. Now here's the thing with Cole Wisniewski is, like, a lot of people were excited about him and what he could possibly do, but he hasn't been on the field at all. So I would just like, he's going to end up getting cut. He's going to clear waivers and he'll be back on the practice squad. But I was like looking forward to seeing him. 500, that 10-1 felt like losses in the wins. It did. Some of it did. Yeah. Some of it did, but some of it was like really good. Like I think about that Buffalo game. When you win and you find ways to win, man, that's impressive. But they collapsed, they panicked, and they didn't know how to handle it. We need a punt returner so badly, Philly. It will help our offense tremendously. I agree. I feel like I've been talking about this for like years now. And the thing is if you look at Seattle, they trade for Rashid last year, Shaheed Rashid, whatever, Rashid Shaheed. They trade for him. He goes there and he completely changes their special teams, uh, as well as what he does on the offensive side of the ball. Like, we can't get a guy like that. We have like one of the worst starting field positions. And now you play in football where it's like teams get the ball at the 35-40, they get 2 first downs and they kick a field goal. We get the ball, it seems like the 15-yard line. We need 4 or 5 first downs to get to midfield. We get to midfield and then we get holding call. We need better field position and we need a better returner. You know, our O line is going to be average this year. Oh, I don't think so. I think it's going to be really, really good. I think it's going to be really good. I'm very high on that offensive line. We were only 10-1 because Jalen was balling out. Once he got nicked up, the season was cooked. I mean, it caught up to us, but those coaches didn't know. They didn't know how to stop the bleed. I'm surprised they haven't plucked a good return from it. Yeah, it just seems like for whatever reason they ignore it. Oh, we'll just bring in Covey, but it's like Covey catch the punt, count, just go 1, 2, 3, 4. He's on the ground. That's it. Yeah, Sproles was the best. I mean, you guys remember that? That was unbelievable. I'm not saying we're going to get that, but we can do better than Covey. The lost toe. The lost toe. What's up? Much love, 500. I haven't been able to watch most of your live streams lately, but you're always appreciate Big Dog. I appreciate you, man. And I get it. I get it. Life happens. All's good. I appreciate you. All right, let's see here. So no Lane was on the injury report. That's good news. Let's see. I'm looking for some updates here. Nothing, nothing, nothing. Let's see. Elliott Shore Park's ready to replace Jalen Hurts. Nothing. Yeah, we're waiting. Dang, I wanted to see more Wisniewski reps. I think a lot of people say his potential. He's got good size for a safety, but he isn't on the field, you know? Yeah, I'm super curious about Lemon too. I really am. Because I have a feeling like he's going to be really good in the slot. I think he's gonna be a good slot wide receiver. But we're gonna find out, If he plays this Friday like a quarter, I'll be so happy. Yeah, tight end depth is a problem. I think tight end's an area where if somebody gets cut, don't be surprised if they bring in a tight end or two. When they make all the roster moves. Steele moves like Sproles. I like Steele. I would like if he can do it. I'm all for giving him a chance. I'm open to anybody that can actually do it. Except for like I'm not going to let Cooper DeJean do it or somebody that starts. 500 Carson Steele is a solid returner, brother, and a great. Well, maybe you keep him then. Maybe you keep him and you just keep him as a fullback or something. I need a returner. Yo, 500, what's up? I'm happy to make it. What's up, Mr. International? It's good to see you. Good to see you. Got to keep Steele on his way. Yeah, I really like Steele. Bro, stop texting. Depth has been bad. I think Munt is actually better than what we had. We used to have Goddard and yeah. I'm not saying it's not better. It was bad last year too, though. But I don't think it's been great. I don't. I mean, I'm just keeping it real. I just don't like what we have after Goddard. So you guys search up the touchdown to Saquon. We had 2 touchdowns on the play. Lemon could have had second. Go Birds. Yeah, I'll check it out. Marco's just compared their head coach to Tom Landry and Jim Johnson. He is outside. Yeah, well, he's telling everybody that this is the greatest coach in Dallas history now, or something like that. I think Mark is losing his mind. It's like 1 second the Cowboys look great. Oh my God, they're gonna be really really good. And it's like, but don't get caught up in practice. Don't get caught up in any of that stuff. But then he gets caught up in it. You can't have it both ways. You're either going to be good or you're not going to be good. I think Dallas is going to be stinky. I mean, if Dallas's defense is good, then they'll be a playoff team. It's that simple. Their offense is good. So if their defense is pretty good, they'll make the playoffs, and then they'll lose, like they always do. Bring Ertz back. Yeah, a lot of people think that. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with him. Bunzology says McMullen said Lemon could get zero separation and looked slow. Okay, well, I mean, I guess we'll see. I mean, if it was that easy, then the Eagles would cut him already or trade him. I'm calling if at first Hurts will go 5-0 to start the season and also go to Super Bowl versus the Broncos. I like it, Dante. I like it. I want to see what Lemon does. Um, you know, in game first, and it's going to take a while. Going to the game week 3 in Chicago, hoping to pull away. Any predictions? I mean, that game's a long way out, so it's hard to make a prediction on the game, but we owe them revenge for sure. Another delusional fan? Okay, I don't know over what. McMullen is an idiot. I don't think I don't think he's an idiot. But Matt Davis, McMullen's a clown. I don't think he's a clown. He's all right. I mean, I don't know. I don't always agree with him. Um, Definitely not. But I mean, we'll see. The time for talk is almost over, and that's what I'm excited about. I've literally got no updates here. We've got no updates. Stacy, what's going on? 500 good days, sir. Why am I seeing a post about an hour about our fan base turning on Hertz? I don't know. I don't know specifically what it would be, except that maybe it had something to do with the WIP. I saw a clip on WIP where they were saying if the Eagles offense struggles the first few weeks, they got to consider putting Tanner McKee in or going back to the offense of a year ago. And like they're ready to pull the plug. And I think that's maybe what they're talking about. Other than that, I don't know. I'm expecting a big year from Hurts, to be honest. What's Mark Shirk going to say today? Yeah, I don't know. Probably something. Probably something on. We'll say. I'll guess lemon. It's going to say something about no lemons or something like that. It'll be something like that. Yeah, well, it's a light practice, King DV Sports. That's true. It's a really light practice day, and then tomorrow there's a walkthrough. All right, so there was somebody mentioned earlier. I'm gonna show this. Somebody mentioned earlier about the play yesterday, um, involving where Barkley could have scored, or multiple people could have scored or something. So let's see what Eagles time says here. Mannion dialed up a play with no right answers. Zone, nobody within 10 yards of Barkley on the wheel. Man, Barkley 1-on-1 in space. Safety's already gone. Tight end clears the flat. Smitty post drags the middle. Every route has a job. I like it. Let's see what he's talking about. So here we go. This is the play. Let's see. Nice catch by Barkley. I think that was Barkley, right? All right, let's see this again. I love that they're utilizing the man right over the middle too. Yeah, you got multiple guys open on that. Multiple guys. I love that they're using Barkley out of the backfield. I think that's going to be such a huge factor in our offense this year. using those running backs out of the backfield. They did it in that preseason game, was great. Steele was fantastic. Nice. That's nice. All right. So we'll see. We'll see. I have to put all those clips together. So just a reminder, we got a walkthrough tomorrow, game on Friday. Saturday's probably going to be off day, and then you're going to have the 53-man roster. So we're going to get a lot of cuts this weekend. I think this is where we're going to find, if we're going to see a trade, it's going to happen. It's going to happen this weekend. Eagles media wants us to lose. I'm convinced. I think they just like stuff to talk about. What up, 500? I'm watching the Super Bowl against the Chiefs. We whooped. Oh man, that was such a great Super Bowl. I enjoyed that so much. You know, think about it. John is the only one on Jacob with any connection to the Eagles. Without him, all they would have is rage baiting clown. Well, yeah, I wonder. I wonder, and I don't know the answer to this, but I wonder what the Eagles think. Like, because I heard, are very controlling about their media who goes in and out. I wonder if they get mad at them. Why practice if you can't get preseason wins? Just cancel the games and get ready for the regular season. I think it's getting to that point. Like seriously, like I think they're getting to the point where it's going to be like they're just going to do a bunch of training camp joint practices, and they're going to add maybe a game or two instead of the preseason. I think we're actually getting to that point. You know what I mean? I wish one of our players injured. I don't know what you guys are talking about. Cater Steele reported a key touchdown appearance that his practice is focused on the backups. Yeah, I would assume it is because it's got to be about the guys trying to make the squad, But I do actually want to go see put up Kane Steele because um I want to see what's happening. I mean, this preseason game, 80% of the guys playing are not going to be on this team. You know, one guy that should be on this team is Carson Steele, though. Like I think he needs to make it. This is what he did. This is what he did in that game, and he was really good in the passing game. He had 12 carries, 33 rush yards. That's not great, but he has 6 receptions, 84 receiving yards, and a touchdown. And I love this play because this is exactly what we complain about every year. We complain about this. Like, why don't you hit a running back out of the backfield? Like, especially when they blitz, throw it to the running back. They don't do it. They're finally doing it, and it's going to make a huge difference. I like this kid. I do. I love that play. Oh, that's a great play. So that was nice. That was definitely nice. Let's see here. Here's here's some Kai Lemon. Timothy says, Philly, how come we have so much freaking success? 3 Super Bowls, 2 wins, best record, and we get no respect. Please drop the hammer on Cilio and Chump Holmes. It's like talking to a wall. They're incapable of hearing. But the time to drop it is going to be during the season. But we'll see what nonsense is being spewed today. That's for sure. It should be something that we should not be happy about. It should be something about that's get ready to collapse the team. They get mad at Bonnie Mac sometimes, but they respect his media skills so much. They respect his honesty, so they let him go because he asks good questions at press conference. Okay, that's cool though. Ask Sills to look up Dak's winning percentage and Jalen's winning percentage against 500 teams. Check the numbers in their first five. I will. I'll try to remember that. But I know his answer. I already know his answer. He's going to go once again. Eagle fans saying that winning is a quarterback stat. That's what his answer is going to be. Once again, Eagle fans saying that winning is a quarterback stat. That's what he always counters with. Then he'll come back and he'll go, well, Dak Prescott has this record against the Eagles, or he's always beaten Eagles. Well, wait a second. You said that winning is not a quarterback stat. You know that, so it's like they always pick and choose. Lemon spectacular catcher. Don't stress on him about him getting separation in the pros. I'm gonna wait and see what he does. I'm gonna wait. You remember a year ago, everybody wanted to cut Ty Robinson. Said he was a bust. There's nothing good about him. He was a bad pick, And then look at him this year. Guys take a while to develop. Sometimes you just gotta be patient. All right, here we got a little bit of update. Let's see what this is about here. EJ Smith says Willie Lampkin just came off the field, visibly frustrated, and had a quick conversation with the trainer. He's staying out there, but he's stretching out his neck. He just came back in from a stinger. So hopefully he's okay. He's staying out here, but he's stretching out his neck. He just came back from a stinger. So did he re-aggravate that injury? That's the question. Not who there might be what? The Hyperball over Ty. I beat the second and third. Robinson is ridiculous. Well, he's a fourth. He's a fourth in the depth chart, right? He's a fourth defensive tackle. So if he's playing up against second and third guys, I think he's doing pretty good. I don't need him to be Jalen Carter or Jordan Davis. Willie Lampkin I read that. But they love to say, look at Dak's record against the NFC. I know. I know. They do it. And that's what I'm saying. It's like they pick and choose when to use that. Like it seems like the only guy that winning doesn't matter is Hurts. Everybody else, you could talk about it. Let's see here. Looking. Elliott Shore Parks is very quiet today. All right, let's see here. All right, so Caden Steele is actually putting some stuff out. All right, so Tanner McKee hits Eric Izunama for a touchdown in the back of the end zone. Probably won't make the roster, but he's flash dying training camp and the preseason as a returner. Okay. Oh yeah, you know what? He wasn't bad. This kid wasn't bad in the kick return game. Maybe he's a practice squad guy. They bring him back. Jalen Hurts throws the ball to Hollywood Brown in the end zone near the goal line, but Quinion Mitchell has good coverage and punches the ball to the ground. All right. And that's pretty much, I think that's all we got. That's all we got on the last day of camp. These guys are fighting for a roster spot and will risk it to get on the team. Absolutely. The live is 1:30. 1:30. Holmes has more Eagle fans than Cryboy fans. Because he does like 50 videos of the Eagles a day. Go Birds is right. If winning is not a quarterback stat, then Tom Brady is not the best quarterback ever because Aaron Rodgers has better stats and nobody has better stats in career than Brady. I agree with you. I agree with you. I'm just saying, like I've argued enough times with him to know the rebuttal. You know what I mean? I've argued enough times to deal with the rebuttal. I find that wins and quarterbacks only come up with Jalen Hurts. When they say that wins don't matter, it's not a quarterback driven stat. They only count that towards Jalen Hurts because if if they count wins, then all their arguments of all their other complaints mean nothing. So you know they do. But like if you look at a guy like Dak, they don't care that he loses. It's okay. Tommy says definitely not happy about Grenard's not starting week one healthy. He got hurt last year with this Vikings. With us, he's get hurt lifting. Come on. No, I know. I get it. I get it. I'm not happy about it either. And my only hope is that because he's a veteran, and because of the nature of the injury, that when he comes back, he'll be fine. But if it lingers on, yeah, it's a problem. And I would not be surprised if the Eagles go out and bring in another pass rusher. I would not be surprised. So I agree with you. Carlos, what's going on? 500. We've seen this story of Dak for 10 years, but yet Mark and still puts his life on the line for him. Well, I know, I know. Well, the funniest thing to me is like if you hear them talk about, and not just Mark, but if you hear them talk about Dak, and it'll be like they go through the specific playoff games, and it's like every game is another reason that why they lost. What did you want Dak to do? Every game. At some point, like everything's not going to be perfect every game. At some point, your quarterback's got to rise above it, and they just don't understand that. That gets better, including losing. Exactly. So that's like the Hall of Fame is the only thing that matters, and winning Super Bowls is a team thing, and team is what matters. Yeah, I mean, I guess he's talking from a player's perspective, because maybe that's how he thought. I don't know. But from a fan's perspective, from my perspective, and many of you, it's about winning. We want our team to win. Dak would have been run out of Philly so fast, Levy. Oh, there's no question about it. Dak is a backup for every team except the Browns. Holy crap! Well, that Brown situation's whacked out, isn't it? Like it seems like Shador should be starting. Matt, thank you for the super chat. If Dak was in Philly, he would have been gone. He would have been gone. Yeah, he wouldn't have made it past 8 years. Milton should take Dak's job. Yeah, a lot of people think, a lot of Cowboy fans think that. Well, that's where Mark is going to lose his mind when the Cowboys struggle and they lose a game, and maybe Dak didn't play his best, and they start with that. He's going to lose his mind, and I'm going to be trying to get him to. The way Silly Homes act around each other, has anyone checked to see if they were any Rabel Racine level of shit going on? Yeah, I'm telling you. I think there could be. It could be. Jose says 500 Pro. I was telling Sills about how he does figure winning is not best stat. As we as fans watch the game for wins or loss, not loss. Exactly. I mean, that's all I care about. That's what I care about. I don't care about how much money the guy's making. I don't care about his statistics or he won. Like I care if do you win. All that good for is choking the last 5 minutes of the playoffs. Agreed. Dak would get picked over Hurts if both quarterbacks were released. And I will argue that the team that gets Hurts will wind up winning more games. Who should we trade for at safety position? I don't know who's out there, to be quite honest with you. Uh, I don't know what safeties are out there to be traded to, like, or who's going to get traded. So I don't know. My guess is if we trade for safety, it's going to be somebody off of a team, probably a guy who's a rookie with maybe a year left on his contract that the Eagles really liked coming out of the draft, and it'll be somebody like that. That's what my guess would be. I don't think they will go like Jesse Bates or somebody like that. I don't believe it. Jalen Stone says 500. What do you think about Clinton Hurt being our coach of the future? Well, like if it's me, I think they did slap the assistant coach on him. He was literally in the draft room. So to me, what I would say to him is like, you're you're the defensive line coach right now, slash assistant coach. We're going to pay you more money, and when Vic Fangio retires, you are the defensive coordinator. It's your job, and then try to keep him until Vic's. I'm thinking Vic. I don't think Vic's going to retire this after this year. I think he's going to coach 2 more years. So if you could keep Hurt for 2 more years, then he's your defensive coordinator, and then from that point, we'll see. I love Clint Hurt. I really like him a lot. Otherwise, you're going to end up losing him. Trade for Kyle Pitts? Yeah, they could. Yeah, I think Clint Hurts definitely heir apparent. I think so too, because the fact that they had him in the draft room and they were listening to him about UR Bernard and how, if he could develop him, like he's got to have some sort of sway in that locker room and with that front office. We got 565 people in the chat. Make sure if you haven't, hit that like. Make sure you guys subscribe. We appreciate it so much. Let's see here. Yeah, practice is over. That was a light That's probably the lightest practice of the year, to be quite honest with you. I think out of all the training camp practices, I think this was like the lightest. Martin Frank says that's a wrap on Eagles training camp practices. 75 minutes. Hurts had a good and bad moments, but no interceptions. Dalton had the pass of the day in tight window to Stone Smart, but he threw an interception on a deflection on a ball that Darius Cooper should have caught. Training camp is over, and that's that. Training camp is over. We now go into the regular season. I will, for me, I will continue into next week with the practice streams. Probably until we get our roster situated. Then I'll go into regular season mode. In regular season mode, it'll be live streams in the morning, Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And then Thursdays will be Thursday night football. A lot of Mondays will be Monday night football. So we'll see that. It'll be that way. But we'll go through training camp practices at least into next week, once we kind of figure out the 53-man roster, and then we'll go into regular season mode. But the Eagles are done with training camp. Darius Cooper's dropped a lot. Yeah, he dropped a couple, and I really hope that doesn't hurt him. I will say this, Daz, in that game versus New England, I thought he was the best receiver on the field, and I didn't think it was close. Like, I thought he was the best receiver on the field. I haven't picked out any yet, Tanner the Great. None yet. I'm excited to see the game Friday. I am too, especially if Mekhi Lemon plays. If Lemon plays, I'm going to be really, really happy about that. We got spoiled having Lane. He's one of the best. Oh, Lane's Lane is. Lane's a Hall of Famer, and he's still underrated. Like literally, like Lane is still underrated, and he's a Hall of Fame right tackle. If I trade Dak and Steelers for a first round pick, I wouldn't give Dallas that. The NFL will inform its teams that any player who turns to the college ranks will be prohibited from signing an NFL team this season. Yeah, I would assume so. That makes sense. We already do got Lane's replacement. It looks like it. 500 surprise cut. I'm going to say Elijah Moore. I think that's going to be the surprise cut, if I had to guess. I think it'll be Elijah Moore or Hollywood Brown. I think it's going to be one of those guys. I think that's what we'll see. That would be my surprise cut. Any other ones? No, I don't really have any other ones. But I think it comes from the wide receiver Finally, Bobby King's also Bobby King is also a fantastic linebacker coach. I think the likelihood that both King and Hurt are on this team next year, I think is small. King's going to get an opportunity as a defensive coordinator at some point. Hurt was already a defensive coordinator in Seattle, and hopefully he's going to take over when the Eagles when they need him. Steele Darius not that guy. Steele had the better, but they're in two different positions. They're two different positions. I'm saying Darius Cooper was the best receiver on the field. I mean wide receiver. I'm not saying he had the most receiving statistics. I'm saying wide receiver. I think Hurts will be fine. Elliot Parks is trying to write a bad narrative of Hurts, but the reality is the interceptions are supposed to happen when assessing a new offense in training camp. Yeah, and you don't know how many of those passes he may or may not make in a real game, and that he takes the chance because it's practice. So maybe he wants to throw the ball and play. So I think he's way overreacting. I think it shows you though what they're going to push early in the season. Like if the offense struggles, if Hurts has turnovers, which I think early on in the year he's going to have them. I've said this. I think his turnovers are going to go up early in the year. Expect it to. But you see what they're going to do. They're going to start pushing. They're going to start pushing that Hurts can't run this offense. That you need to make a change, or you need to go back to what you did last year. Like you already see what the narrative is going to be to start controversy this season. The likelihood there are more than 30 interceptions this season. Yeah, like no chance. There's no chance. And I'm positive about that. ESPN Trojan Horse, always been talk show in the 2017 Eagles right up. Yeah. Um, no, Hurts usually doesn't, but there have been times where he has. I mean, that the year we won the Super Bowl, the first 4 weeks before they went really hardcore run, I think he had a decent amount of interceptions. So, I mean, it happens, but I think you just got to work through it. They're acting like, well, if the Eagles' offense isn't good after like 3-4 weeks, then they need to go back to what they did last year, which I don't want to do. But that's what they're acting like. It's like you got to give him more time than 4 games. 4 games is not enough time. It's like I'm busting James Bond's balls when he gets stabbed the chick in the simulation. Bond said the speed of the real fight gives you an edge. Wait, what? Oh, I guess so. Yeah. Trucker, thank you for super chat. Moore has a much better camp than Cooper and Brown. He better make this team. Jalen trusts him. So who would you cut? You cut Cooper, or would you cut Brown? That's the question. The only reason I think Brown's higher on the depth chart is because they take him out of the game. If you base it upon the games, they're taking Hollywood Brown out really early. So it seems like that it would come down to Moore and Cooper, and I'm not cutting Cooper. Even if Moore was slightly ahead of him, I wouldn't do it because he's too young. So they're gonna have to just keep those guys. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. What? Give me about another 2 hours. I've already been for what 6. Started 5, came home. It's 2, baby, 2 jobs. This is job 2. Why are you asking that anyways? He's the fastest on the team. Who? Brown? What up, big dog? No need to worry. We'll be ready. Go Birds. Yeah, we'll be all right. I hope Kobe gets cut, but who's going to return? That's the question. That's the question. I think Hurt does increase the picks this year, but I do think his volume definitely goes way up overall, so it will equal out. I agree. I agree. I mean, I think it's one of those things we're going to have to just deal with, and I'm okay with it. You know, and I think it'll happen more early. I think as Hurts gets more comfortable with the offense, that will be less and less and less. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's 12:45 here. I get it. It's 12:45 where I'm at too. But that's why I get up at 5 in the morning. Cooper's probably our best blocker in the run game. He's staying here. I just don't think you can get rid of Darius Cooper. And I would prefer to keep Elijah Moore. I like keep 6 receivers. I'm okay with that. You know, am I nuts? But if Dickerson isn't at least 85% healthy, I'd start Drew Kendall. He looks really dominant. I don't I don't know. I mean, I've only seen Kendall at center though. You know, ESP also caused trouble always about. Oh yeah, the Deshaun Jackson stuff was so bad. That was so bad. There's no question. And you remember the camp where Jalen throws like one interception the whole camp, and then he goes out and he throws two versus Green Bay in the first quarter. Like you can't put a lot of stock into it. Anybody taking Cooper over Moore is making a decision of their heart. Moore is most proven and consistent while in the receiving room. I like Moore, but if I had to choose, I'm taking Cooper, and it's not a hard decision. It's the fact that Cooper is a rookie. He's a second year player, and if we're comparing Darius Cooper to Elijah Moore, even if you have Moore as a better receiver, but if those are the two, if that's the final cut and it's between those two guys, and Darius Cooper in his second year is already challenging Elijah Moore, I'm not getting rid of the young guy. I'm just not going to do it. I gotta have the young guy. I think Darius Cooper has no chance of passing through waivers. He will get taken immediately. I think Elijah Moore may be able to clear, but there's no way I'm a young kid and a veteran, that are competing, and the young kid's giving that veteran all the run for his money. Ain't no way I'm taking the veteran. And I think for the most part, I think Darius Cooper has been this. I think arguably the best receiver in camp. However, the irony is if we go to Super Bowl, Hurts passing stats won't be as good as Bro's garbage time losses. That's true. That's true. Yeah. Well, you got to consider that. And like I said, I mean, I've done every one of these practices. Every one of these practices I've done. Nobody has been talked about in the receiver room by the media and people more than Darius Cooper. I think Darius Cooper arguably has been the best receiver in camp because Devontae's missed a lot of time. Lemon's missed a lot of time. I think Wick's starts though came on really strong. You got the only thing with Darius Cooper is he dropped two balls in the first preseason game. That hurt him, and then he dropped the ball today, maybe one or two at practice. But that's it. Other than that, he's great. I think the Eagles would regret it. I think you'll see Darius Cooper down the road, a star somewhere, and we'd be going, why did we let him go? Is he challenging Elijah Moore? They forced him to play almost 4 quarters of each preseason game. Moore gets more first team reps. Wicks has been the best receiver. I don't think Wicks has been. I think Darius Cooper's been, but I think Wicks has been really good. It looks like it's Elijah Moore and Cooper, and the thing is both of them have been better than Hollywood Brown, but for whatever reason, the Eagles seem like they want to keep Hollywood Brown. So it looks like it's going to be between Elijah Moore or Cooper, unless you keep both of them. I mean, they could keep both of them. They could keep 6 wide receivers. Teams have done that before. I'm just telling you, there's no way I'm letting Darius Cooper go. I think that would be a stupid move by the Eagles. Not so much for this year, but for the future. I'll get right back at you. To be honest, we need to see Lemon because if he's going to keep not playing and being hurt, his spot should be up for grabs. Well, yeah, I agree. But first round pick, at least the first year, they're going to play him when he's healthy. They're going to play him. So we'll see. Hopefully, Lemon plays on Friday. I hope. He doesn't have to hit weight. Well, there you go. There you go. I'm just saying. I don't know what the Eagles are going to do. I'm not pretending to know. I'm just telling you my personal opinion. I'm not letting Darius Cooper out the building. I think that would be a mistake. They give Hollywood $5 million guaranteed. They ain't cutting them. I think they should keep Coop and Moore though. Both have shown good rapport with Hurts. We need all hands on deck with AJ too, and they might. And I agree with you. I totally agree. I think you keep 6. That's fine. The question will be though, because I was thinking they keep 5 and then they keep Covey, which is technically 6. If you cut Covey and you keep one of those guys, then who's your returner? That's what you need. That's the question. Once you answer that, then you could keep 6 of them, and I would. There's like I said, in my personal opinion, and I don't know what the Eagles are doing. I'm just telling you my personal opinion. I'm not letting Cooper go. I'm not letting a young talent out the door. I think the biggest issue with Cooper is once he started to hear about himself, he thought he started to drop passes being nonchalant. Well, I don't know. I mean, he dropped passes in that first preseason game. You look at this last preseason, I thought he was fantastic the last preseason game. He dropped a pass at practice. I don't know how much else he's dropped. Do I think Hurts gets 4,000 yards passing? No, I'm gonna say he'll be underneath it. Yeah, I'm okay with Brown returning kicks. I totally am. You could cut Covey and he'll clear waivers and sign the practice squad, and then you could bring Covey up. That's a good point. Yeah, that's true. You can do that. So if he's still eligible for that, then that's exactly what you do, and that's exactly what they'll probably do. You're probably right. That's probably exactly what they're going to do. If I Jalen speak at press conference, okay. So Jalen's speaking. So then that means it's time for me to get out of here. I will be back later. I got to get ready for the show in a little bit here. So I'm going to let you guys go. I'm going to get ready for my other streams. But thank you guys for joining me. Appreciate it. And yeah, I will see you guys soon. Peace.
2 minutes to go. You have plenty of time.
Come on.
Oh, shit! Dad! No!
It's over. It's over. This game is over. Cut it off. It's over.
Fuck.
Congratulations, Green Bay. Congratulations, Green Bay. Congratulations, Green Bay.
I said run the ball.
Congratulations, Green Bay. Dak Prescott, you need to be fired today. That was on you, Dak. That was on you, Dak. That was on you, Dak.
I said run the ball.
That was on Dak Prescott. Trying to feed the lamb. You tried to feed the lamb. You got to get give it to CeeDee Lamb. God! It's over. It's over, Dak. Put Trey Lance in the game. Trey Lance can't do worse than you.
I'm an idiot because I buy into this shit. I buy into this shit. Because here's the thing. I am a grown-ass man. And I talk the talk. It is killing me.
I feel it coming. I feel like it's going to take Jerry Jones taking. Cut it off. It's over.